Hello YouTube, this is Bas and I'm doing my first YouTube video performance. So Leo, watch your back. And I wanted it to be about stuttering because I developed a severe stutter when I was around 5. Went to therapy for 7 years with some ups and downs but no real results. And I wanted to talk to you about the techniques that you're being taught about breathing and speaking during this therapy. And I also want to talk about what this therapy, at least in my case, did not deal with. Maybe some of you guys out there are doing this therapy. Maybe you think it's good, maybe you think it's bad. I don't know. In any case, let me know. My experience was that, okay, these techniques, you could either talk really slowly or cut everything up or even articulate really poorly like you're a drunk person. And I could still do that. They help you avoid your stutters. I could order a drink in a bar talking like the last thing I just did, and I wouldn't stutter. But the barman could be like, "Dude, you're drunk. Just go home." What I'm saying is, yes, you're avoiding your stutters, but you're still talking in a weird and unnatural kind of way. And for me, that wasn't enough. Like, 5-year-old me could not explain it like this, but I had a feeling deep down that this is not going to help me through life. Having to think about these techniques all the time, having to focus on your speech the whole time, that wasn't going to work because my therapist told me that I was never going to get rid of my stutter. So I would always have to be using these techniques. And I was still anxious about talking to people. So is it really helping then? For me, it wasn't because there was still this huge load on my shoulders that I was focusing on my speech the whole time. And what I want to talk to you about is the personality behind the stutter that you should be focusing on. You can still use your techniques that you're comfortable with, sure. Like I said, they help. But if you're anxious about talking to people, then that's what you should deal with. Because after 7 years of focusing on this therapy and on my speech, at some point I just thought, hey, if people were to talk about me and who am I, what would they say? And they would probably not say a whole lot more than, oh, he's the stuttering kid. But despite of what my therapist told me, that people would always be uncomfortable talking to me, I still had some friends. I was not the most sociable kid, of course. I wasn't confident, but I still had some friends, and they had no trouble talking to me. Of course, they have to wait sometimes for me to finish my sentence, but I just figured, hey, these techniques are not helping. What else might help? Because after 7 years, I had kind of a low voice. I spoke hesitantly, just in case anyone wants to hear what the stuttering kid has to say. Uh, and basically, there was no emotion, no expression on my face either. Because if you're using these techniques, your face is in the same expression the whole time. And that's not really fun to talk to. And the biggest thing I noticed when I got pulled out of therapy, I was about 12 at the time. People do not respond directly to your stutter. If someone starts laughing at you or you know, look to the side in a uncomfortable way, no, what they pick up on is your entire energy. Because if you're nervous, you're anxious, then that's what you send across. And that's why I say you should focus on a lot more than just your speech, because words are just words and it's only a small part of communication. If you're nervous, people will think you stutter because you're nervous. When actually, you're nervous because you're afraid of the next time you'll be stuck and you're afraid of how they will respond to that. So you're nervous because you stutter, not the other way around. So that's what you got to deal with, your nervousness, your anxiety. And I'll tell you what, that's what many people deal with. This is not just for people who stutter. Being nervous about talking to strangers is something that can happen to everybody. So what you should really be focusing on is relaxing and your confidence. You can build confidence by doing things that you love to do. And if you just do those things, you'll develop a personality as well, because you won't be just thinking about your speech, but you'll be thinking about all the things you love. Traveling, music, instruments, theater, movies, whatever. You can become a fun person that's worth talking to, that's fun to hang out with, and people will see that energy about you, that confidence, and they will not mind if you are stuck sometimes, because they will actually feel that you're a nice person. So you gotta get rid of the idea that you can never stutter again. Basically, you don't have to get rid of your stutter before you can go on with your life. That's kind of what my therapist told me. Like, I would never accomplish anything if I stuttered. But that's just not true. And you can instantly feel more confident if you just talk a little louder. You know, you know, like I said, not being hesitant about saying something, not being afraid of people hearing you stutter. But if you want to say something, just say it, even if you stutter. Just express it, and you'll develop some charisma, maybe even some charm, which will help you a lot as well. If you want to become confident, and just talk a bit louder, a bit more convincing, changing the pitch of your voice a bit more, and find some kind of a flow. And in order to help you relax, there's actually a ton of tips out there and books and videos for public speakers, even, because they come across as confident people, right? They talk to huge crowds all the time. They must be really strong. It's easy to think that. But the truth is, they get nervous. And not a little bit. They get breakdowns just before they have to go on stage, before they have to do a presentation. There's tons of tricks and tips for them to help gain your composure, to help be calm, and to help speak in a natural, confident kind of way. And one of these tricks, and this one I'm going to give away to you right now before I conclude this video. I don't want it to become too long. But for me, when I was doing this therapy, I always felt like I had to keep talking in order to keep someone's attention. And if you stutter, well, your lungs are only so big. So if you speak in sentences that aren't that short to begin with, and then you get stuck the whole time, you feel yourself running out of breath. That makes you nervous. You get stuck a lot more. People react to you stressing out, and that makes you stress out even more. So the thing is, a pause in the middle of a sentence is actually a very helpful thing, not only for the speaker, but also for the receiver. You don't have to keep talking. You basically can just keep your hand gestures where they are for a few seconds. You keep eye contact, and then you continue your sentence after you catch your breath. And what it does for the receiver is it helps them store the information. It helps them to kind of just receive what you just said. And that can help you relax. You don't have to rush to the end of a sentence anymore. And so yeah, that's one of the tips that I would like to give you. Just try to basically stop caring what people think, and that's a life lesson for a lot of people, really, not just for people who stutter, because life is way too short to think about what people think about you. It's also way too short to think only about your stutter and your speech. You can just be who you want to be and do things that make you happy and that build confidence, and you'll be a fun person to hang out with for a lot of people. And your stuttering will be a part of your personality, but it's not you. You are a lot more than just your stutter. And all that the stuttering is, if you accomplish this, is just an instant asshole filter. Because if someone still doesn't want to deal with you because you stutter, even though you might have a great sense of humor, you might have fun things to say, you might have a lot of nice, cool hobbies, and you might be a relaxed, confident person. If someone still can't deal with you because you stutter, then you don't need them in your life. So maybe you have some more questions about more specific topics or situations. I'd be happy to do another video, but yeah, if you feel like you're not confident talking to people, even with these techniques that you learn in therapy, just try to relax, try to stop care what people think about you, and develop your confidence and your personality. That can help you relax, and everything will just work out. You can be a fun person who stutters. So this is my first video. I hope you liked it. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. And until then, have a nice day, have a great life, and just be happy.